Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Amy controls Minsc Boo, and she says that she wants to activate the -2 ability of that Planeswalker, sacrificing Boo to deal 1 damage to Nick. Nick says that he wants to respond by playing a lightning bolt against Boo. Is this possible? What would happen if Nick does so? Alright, so in order to answer this question, let's first take a look at the ability that Amy played, and we'll notice that it has a colon in it. This being the case, we can say that this is an activated ability. Now, with an activated ability, everything that happens before the colon is part of the cost to activate that ability, and everything that happens after the colon would be part of the effects that happen when the ability resolves. In particular, let's notice that the sacrifice a creature would be one of the effects of this ability, and that would mean that Amy doesn't actually sacrifice the creature that she's going to sacrifice until this ability is resolving. Accordingly, it is possible for Nick to respond to this ability by playing a lightning bolt. Now, ordinarily, Nick would not know which creature Amy is planning on sacrificing, because the decision of which creature to sacrifice is actually made at the time when that sacrifice happens. However, Amy kind of tipped her hand by saying ahead of time which creature she was going to do, and indeed, which target she intended to damage. This isn't something that Nick really has any control over, but if you're interested in a more policy and philosophy-driven discussion of this sort of situation, I had another ruling that I did a few months ago where I went into a lot more detail about exactly what sort of things could go on in this situation. I recommend that you check that video out if you're interested in some more specifics, but for now, I'll just say that I would rule that Nick does have an opportunity to play the lightning bolt against the Boo, even though Amy specifically said that she was playing the Boo. It isn't really fair to Nick to take away his opportunity to respond due to something that was outside of his control, like Amy saying this sort of thing out of turn. Now, with that being the case, what would happen if Nick did make that play and lightning bolted the Boo? Well, let's notice that the sacrifice a creature part of the ability is not optional. The Minsc Boo does not use language such as you may sacrifice or sacrifice up to 1, which generally indicates that it's optional to perform that action. Rather, it just says sacrifice a creature, and that means that Amy is forced to sacrifice a creature if that's possible for her to do. If it's not possible for her to sacrifice a creature, then the when you do part of the ability is not going to be able to happen because she didn't. However, if Amy does have another creature, any creatures that she could sacrifice, then it would be possible for her to perform that instruction, and so that would mean the game would compel her to do so. Amy would have to sacrifice one of the creatures that she currently controls. Now, the when you do part is something that triggers after Amy sacrifices the creature, which means that, again, Nick would not know which target Amy is intending to damage at the time when she's making the decision of which creature she sacrifices. Only after Amy has sacrificed the creature will the when you do ability trigger and itself go onto the stack, and at that point Amy would have to say what she's targeting with that triggered ability. But that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling. But until then, I hope you have a great day.